All right, now we're going to do lesson 338. This is a powerful, powerful lesson, and one that we have got to accept as the truth for us. I am affected only by my thoughts. It is only the thoughts that we think that create the reality that we experience. Our toe hurting does not affect the truth of who we are. It just means we're experiencing a toe that is hurting, but it doesn't alter who we are. A thought that says that I am hurt alters the truth of who we are. So all of the work that we are doing is at the level of mind. Let me read this again. I am affected only by my thoughts. Well, before I realized the power of my thoughts ran my life. I believed all my thoughts. And then we cultivated a relationship with our thoughts. We become the observers of them. We realize that they're just like roommates talking in our head, voices in the head. They're not who we are. And we get to choose between the ones that say things that we enjoy and the ones that we don't. And we get to kick out the voices that are not saying things that we realize are truths according to how God created us. So all of the work is with our thoughts because I am affected only by my thoughts. Paragraph 1. It needs but this to let salvation come to all the world. That's all that it needs for salvation to happen. We need to understand that everything is happening at the level of thoughts. For in this single thought is everyone released at last from fear. If we didn't believe our thoughts, that we hate each other, that we're different, that we're better than, there would be no fear. All fear is activated by the thoughts in our head. Sentence number 3, now has he learned that no one frightens him and nothing can endanger him because all of our fears are only from our thoughts. The only things that ever scare us are our fears of a potential future, of something that's coming, of something we think we cannot control because we haven't developed a relationship with the holiness, the goodness that is already ours and is ours eternally. So we get all wigged out over temporary things because we're not solidly grounded in the thoughts that are true and will be true always, no matter what incarnation we're in. Until we know the truth that is eternal, we're operating with temporary truths, and they shift and they change, and of course they cause a lot of suffering. And if we're thinking thoughts that are not true, well, we're going to be affected. Paragraph still number 1, sentence number 4. He has no enemies, and he is safe from all external things. Somebody who knows not to believe thoughts that are not true. His thoughts can frighten him, but since these thoughts belong to him alone, he has the power to change them and exchange each fear thought for a happy thought of love. You see, you can choose to see with the eyes of the ego or the eyes of spirit. You can choose a fear-based thought or a love-based thought. And when you shift from fear and you lift into the frequency of love, you lift your vibration. Of course, you're going to attract more of that which resonates at the level of love, at the level of joy, of peace, of happiness. So this is a powerful, powerful lesson. Sentence number 6 says, he crucified himself. I caused all of my pain and my harm when I believed thoughts that were not true. Yet God has planned that his beloved son will be redeemed. So we have been given everything that we need to return to love, to return to truth, to remember the holiness that is inside of us. How do you remember the holiness and the sinlessness inside of you? You got to see it in everybody else. This way we forgive everybody. They know not what they're doing. They're simply believing thoughts that are not true. Everybody did it. It's just the way the world has been going for thousands of years. Now we're beginning to reverse the process. We're beginning to say, no, I'm not going to believe this BS anymore. That's belief system of the ego. I'm not going to believe that anymore. I am only going to believe what I am discovering is the truth about who I am. This is a journey of loving yourself enough to begin to think the best of yourself and of your neighbors, of your brothers, until we accept that the whole brotherhood is either aware of the magnificence in them or blocking it with their thoughts. Well, until we're aware that that's really all that's going on, we're actually going to believe that people can hurt us, but we're hurt by the thoughts that we have about people, not by people themselves. Let me go to paragraph number 2. This is the prayer. Your plan is sure, my Father, only yours. Because God has created us safe, we have to find our way back into that safety. Otherwise, we're floundering with our own thoughts about how to create our safety. And as long as we're creating it in a world of temporary stuff, sure, you can have security systems, you can get a good job, you can save up some money, you can win the lottery. But when those things begin to run out, and they will, when the alarm system is not working or somebody breaks in, you're going to suffer. You're going to lose your safety. So you might as well come to where the Redeemer has already redeemed you and recognize that your safety lies because you're in the mind of God. Learn to use the mind of God appropriately, which is your use of God's mind. What we think in our mind is our use of God's mind. When we allow ourselves to hear what God speaks to us in stillness, we're aligning with the will of the Father. When we block God's thoughts with our own thoughts, our own BS, well, then we create the suffering that has us feel like we have to protect ourselves, like we could possibly experience harm. So let me start again, paragraph 2. Your plan is sure, my Father, only yours. All other plans will fail, and I will have thoughts that will frighten me until I learn that you have given me the only thought that leads me to salvation. Mine alone will fail and lead me nowhere. But the thought you gave me promises to lead me home because it holds your promise to your Son. Here's the thought. I am affected only by my thoughts. God has let us know that we have the powerful use of God's mind. We either use it in alignment with God's will, which is to extend love, or we block love and create a lot of harm and a lot of fear, a lot of suffering. The choice is ours. I know this journey took me a while, but it is absolutely imperative that you begin to decide that you are either aligned with happy thoughts or harmful thoughts, thoughts of fear or thoughts of love. What you think about, you bring about. And that's the place where all creation emanates from. In the beginning was the Word. What was the Word? Thoughts in the mind of God. Thank you so much for doing this lesson with me. And know how powerful you are. I hope that by now, at lesson 338, you've had 338 amazing teachings to help you remember the truth of who you are. And all of them are lovingly guiding you back to accept that you've already been redeemed. You already have wholeness and holiness and sinlessness and innocence in you. And once you accept that, life does become fun and easy. You will experience a bliss that is incomprehensible, but you have to feel it through your choice to not think harmful thoughts anymore. And that's where you will discover how powerful you are, is when you choose to stop making yourself suffer. Thanks a bunch, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.